Hello and welcome to The Future Edit. I'm your host, Kelly Eckhart, a podcast about editing the future you, doing the inner work now for a happier and healthier you. Hello and welcome back to The Future Edit. Yes, we are in season 3, which I am so excited about. And I'm very excited about our guest today, Kelly Bond. Now, she is the CFO of World Happiness Project. She's also an adventure catalyst for the Three Beacons, and she's an ambassador for the Salty Club. Now, Kelly has had quite an adventure, and we're going to hear about it. Her main goal is to help women feel comfortable with themselves, to really find the adventure in every day and to trust themselves to get outside and to really, breathe that fresh air and find the inner them. So thank you, Kelly, for being here. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no, thank you for having me. I'm excited. This is good.
Yes. So we're going to start off with Kelly just introducing herself, and then she's going to go ahead and start talking about her journey to where she is now, because it's quite an amazing journey. So have at it.
Do you know what? I hate these moments when people are like, oh, tell me about yourself.
Yeah, I know. It is a little bit.
How much do you want to know? Where are we going with this? I mean, I think my interest in sort of inspiring women, if we kind of start there, kind of started from when I was so much younger. I think growing up, there was stuff going on at home that wasn't great. So I had to deal with all of that at a young age. I was anorexic from my mid-teens to my early 20s to quite a severe level. And it was off the back of that they basically put me in hospital and told me, we now have to really help you get better. You can't do this on your own. And it was at that point, me being me, I was like, right, I'm not just taking direction from someone else. If it's about me, I want to look at this on a deeper level. So I started to study nutrition and fitness and things like that. So I came out of that with a whole new career as a personal trainer, as a sort of spin instructor. Cool. I was teaching snowboarding. I did loads of different things came out of that. I worked in the NHS with specialist groups, kind of at Papworth Hospital with cardiac patients, loads of different stuff. But always my big interest was helping women, because at the end of the day, I am a woman, so I can relate to the stuff they're going through and how they're thinking and feeling, and you can be more genuine and authentic about it. Then you can really have empathy with those around you. And then moving forward, I fell pregnant. There was a divorce in between. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. That was it. I then met my current husband, fell pregnant, absolutely fine, until I knew something was wrong. Like, I just knew. And I had different doctor's appointments and midwives and stuff like that. And they were like, no, this is just part of pregnancy. Well, and things just became worse. Like, for me, it was my breathing, but I also developed gestational diabetes. So they said that the baby was bigger. Okay. Than, I guess, what would ordinarily be concerned of me carrying a baby. Yeah. It was, causing me to be puffy and out of breath. And I was like, oh, okay, fine. And then something was happening with my left leg, and it just wasn't right. But so many times I was sort of told, it's just being pregnant. You're just aching. You're just, retaining a bit of water on one leg. I was like, really? Is that like normal? I don't see many. And my leg at this point, I think at its biggest, it was 12 centimeters, wider than the other leg.
Wow. And they were like, this is normal?
This is it. No. One out of hours doctor went, my lovely, you're going to have to get used to these things. You're going to develop varicose veins and things like that.
Oh, that's a poor excuse. I'm sorry.
I know. Anyway, so boring your listeners with the pain bits. Turned out to be blood clots. So I'd got blood clots in my legs and lungs. And at that point, the day before I found out, I was doing a CrossFit workout with a weighted vest on.
Wow.
this is how much I was still living my normal life. And at that point, the very next day, they were like, no, you need, like, I was under supervision. I was literally, it felt like I then spent the rest, like the next 6 months of my pregnancy in hospital. I mean, you know yourself how that kind of goes, which is great. We're very lucky to have the care we do, but it was hard. It was really hard. And I was left kind of, I don't really have any family around. My husband works away. And I was just left in the state of, who am I? And then I ended up having to have my daughter early by C-section, but under a general anesthetic. So you don't even, and even that is weird, because it's like, I didn't even go into labor. I didn't have any, you know, even those kind of feelings. You don't even have those stories or those sensations or memories or anything. It kind of all, how it all panned out. I had her, there's ongoing issues with my blood clots. My daughter also had hip dysplasia.
Okay. Yeah.
So she was in a harness, and I couldn't bath her and things at home. So every week I had to go take her into hospital to have her bath. And it's just like,
that's a lot.
Stuff going on, and still quite not knowing what's going on with myself. And they managed, it was only in 2020, the end of 2019 actually, that they finally found out that I was born with a condition called May-Thurner syndrome. Okay. That was just, I would never have known about it had I not had such a large baby that had caused the extra pressure to then cause the development of all the ongoing blood clots. Okay. So I had stents fitted on Valentine's Day 2020. Oh, wow. That was nice. That's always like quite romantic. You know. Not one of my better Valentine's Day presents, must admit.
Yeah. How was your Valentine's Day? Well, actually, let me tell you.
And I mean, from there, I came out of it all. And I remember sitting in lockdown. And at the time, we were living in a beautiful converted barn in a field in very rural Norfolk, which sounds idyllic. But when you're locked in with a small child alone, and literally we were in a position where like the grocery trucks, like Tesco trucks and things like that, they didn't deliver there because they couldn't get down the farm tracks.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. That's
we literally went months without seeing another human being unless we went out to the store, sort of thing. And I was like, I just can't do it. I knew I wasn't fit or healthy enough to go straight back into the fitness world, because I just physically couldn't. I wasn't able to. Yeah. Or I wasn't content to. Everyone was like, of course you can. And I was like, no, that's not. You weren't ready. So I knew I had to do something. So I kind of started drawing on other skills I got from my work in the NHS and with different other businesses in the past, and started helping friends and family with their online marketing and newsletters and social media, and started studying that side of things. And because that really interested me, the connection between businesses and, again, primarily the female market, and how things are promoted to them and how things maybe shouldn't be promoted to them. Yeah. And the lack of realness that's out there. And I couldn't get my head around why brands who are apparently trying to appeal to a female market weren't being more realistic, weren't seeing what their customers really wanted. And gradually, through word of mouth, I don't know, I seem to hit on something that businesses and brands seem to like and love. And I've been so lucky ever since to build on what I do and work with the people I'm working with and the businesses I'm working with and things. So I feel like I've talked a lot. Have I talked? This is great. No,
this is what this is about, is we are learning about you, because the next question is, explain what you do and how do you, first off, was there something that when you were in that barn and you were needing to kind of change, was there something, was there like an awakening or epiphany, or was there something that like really said, okay, enough is enough. I really have to figure out how to change this?
I think it was just hitting rock bottom.
Yeah.
I think it was literally, I just remember several times like sitting on the floor and just crying, just sobbing uncontrollably, and not even being able to figure out why. Like I tend to be a very positive person. I'll always do my best to try and look forward and to try and see, keep in mind that anything going on is just a moment, and it will pass, bad or good. So I know I was lucky. I had a roof over my head. I had, a husband, a child, but we weren't struggling like some people were.
Yeah.
But I just had no sense of me left. I did not recognize the person in the mirror. I was a triathlete. I'd race stand-up paddle boards. I was a competitive bodybuilder. I came third in Miss Galaxy Universe.
Wow, cool.
And suddenly I wasn't all of these things.
Yeah.
And I do remember going to like the shed, and when I wanted to just do something and getting a camping table out, and I put I'd put Millie to bed. I got the camping table out, set it up at the bottom of our bed with my laptop on. And I just sat there and I was like, right, I know I've got to do something. I don't know what it is. And then I got a piece of paper out and I just like, right, I'm going to write down all of my skills. I'm going to write down how I want my days to look. I'm going to write down how I want to feel about my work.
Yes, that's such an important thing. How do you want to feel about your work?
And how can I tie all of these together? And like I say, it was then just by chance, a friend sort of said, could you help me? I think it was blog posts, first of all, on this. And I was like, yeah, sure, I can do that.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is it. I can create content aimed at an audience I know inside and out and really understand, and I can be really choosy about the brands and the businesses I work with.
Yeah.
They are genuinely for the greater good of this audience, and I can create the stuff that connects the two.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that is a job and a career. I still find it weird. I still find it odd that at 41 years old, if someone goes to me, what do you do for a living? And I'm kind of like shy to go, I'm a content creator, because that kind of is a broad thing of what I do. But I always envision, I always think if someone's saying that, it's, I don't know, I imagine, and this is no disrespect to anyone, but, like a 25-year-old gorgeous young girl on a beach in a bikini. I think that's a content creator. It's like that.
Exactly. Which is in a way, I mean, it's sad because you have a whole audience out there, like you say, women, especially in their 40s, 50s, that there's nothing out there for us. Because we are meant to look like this and to act like this and be in this, have this amazing body and like a 25-year-old and wear what they wear and have this great life. But, most of us have kids and family and can't just get up and go to Bali whenever we want to, so there's like this, and the realness of it, because that 25-year-old, is probably has a great life, but she hasn't experienced all these other things yet. So she doesn't have that behind her where we do, and we need that rawness in it. Like we were talking before, right? This rawness of real life.
Yeah, that's where I kind of pride myself now. And every day, wake up, I try and really remember that I have that purpose in that place, and that it is needed to make that connection with that particular audience, and that voice needs to be put out there because there is so little out there. And I hope, I really do hope that if I can make a difference to just one woman, like if I can, you've seen some of my posts and things like that. If I can make one woman smile on a really shitty day. You can say those. That's okay.
Oh yeah. Sorry, that's okay. Mouth. So.
I was like, I'm about to get cut off.
No. Rawness.
Yeah, there we go. You should expect it. Come on. If I help them just through one moment of their little day with my honesty and openness and down to earthness, and make them smile and see forward and see some hope going forward, and that a little bit of self-belief, then my job is done. And whether that's on my personal platform or the businesses that I work for, I don't care. I'm happy. I am genuinely in a really good place for that. So,
and I think too, it's needed even more after the few years we've been through of having this isolation and then coming out, and people really need this uplifting happiness, joy, everyday joy, magic in the mundane, all this shit, because all this good stuff, because of the shit that we are going through, right? And a lot of people, I think, have been lost, especially women. I also think you come to a point where you do start to question yourself again, and you've had the time to go inward and say, okay, is this what I want? Is this how I, is this the job that I want? How do I feel about this? It's, and then you can come in and say, no, actually, you can ask all the right questions, or, put ideas out there to women.
Because I think that's why I live by the idea that life's an adventure. I genuinely believe that I think it's really sad that unless they're genuinely really happy with that, like you pick like a certain life path and that's it, like you don't venture off. I think it's getting easier. I think lockdown almost helped with the idea that you can go in other directions.
Exactly.
You can just change your career like that if you want to. There is no rule book. And it is about, like you say, kind of going inward and going, do I really like this? And going, if you do, fine, carry on, move forward, learn more about it, expand in that. But if the answer is no, I absolutely hate doing this day in, day out, change it. Like you literally can change it. You don't have to stay stuck. And as soon as you start to move in a new direction, and I think you said it earlier, you kind of, and it's the right one. Everything just opens up to you.
Yes.
It's crazy how quickly you're just on a whole new path and you're like, what happened? But this is awesome. But why did I leave it so long?
Well, and that's the thing, right? Because we have been trained in society that, there's one way and you do it this way. And, when you get to a certain age as well, it's like, well, how can you change now? Like, you're 46 years old and do you really want to start over? Like, no, actually, you can do this. This is totally fine into your life. And there are resources out there if you're willing just to kind of change your perspective and say, no, enough is enough. I'm ready to give this a go.
Right? And take on the challenge as well. Because I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm not saying that you can kind of, and there's going to be times you're going to be maybe working 2 jobs to have that transition if it is a work-related thing. And you are going to find times where you're there thinking, oh my God, what am I doing? Like, why am I here doing it? Why am I putting myself through this? And I think those are the moments that really make it, because if you keep going, you'll look back at those and go, God, I'm so proud of myself. I'm so chuffed that I stuck with it and really went after what now is amazing.
Yeah, exactly. And so with the World Happiness Project, talk about that and what you plan on doing with this, bringing more happiness into the world. I like this.
I just love that they gave me the job title Chief Happiness Officer. I'm just amazing. Like, how cool is that? I'm just gonna wear that badge with pride everywhere. No, it's a really new project, it's not fully launched yet, so we're just kind of starting in the launch process. And it is just about launching global happiness, and giving, improving well-being. We want to look at even work environments, improving those, how can you make a workforce happy? It's really hard because we haven't launched properly yet. I feel a bit like, I don't know what I'm allowed to say and what I'm not allowed to say.
Fair enough.
We're looking at things like happy communities, happy towns, happy workplaces, happy homes. There's going to be part of the service is an app, which is going to be free, and there's going to be loads of content on there. And then you can kind of buy into little short courses and things like that as well. But it is just that basic happiness. Like, we're not out to get people, you know, I don't know, you've got to hustle. If you don't want to hustle, hustle. Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
It's about what makes you happy, and those little changes and the appreciation for the little things every day. Yeah, if we can jump on a plane to Bali, we'll be super happy.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
you know, we'll work, that's our high end happy. If we just want to, like, if we've woken up on a Wednesday and we're just a bit like, here we go again. You know, we're there in the palm of your hand to just, whether it's give you a little bit of a laugh, if you're looking for, I don't know, it could be absolutely anything. There's so much information. We've got such an amazing team of coaches and guides, all pouring information into this. And it's going to be available, say, in an app, but also you're going to have written content, so blogs and things like that. There's going to be a podcast area, so if your thing is listening into it and stuff, do that. We just want to make it really accessible and simple and happy. That's, like, just happy.
And for you, when it comes to everyday happiness, what are things that you incorporate into your daily life to help with this?
Coffee.
Yes.
Coffee. In my brutal honest self, coffee, a good coffee.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's something that changes. I think that's a really important factor. Is some days, you know, you need, I don't know, I need to get outside and move my body. I need to go for a run. So I'll cancel. I'm in a lucky position, I know, because I'm self-employed, to cancel things, move things around so I can fit in even just a 20-minute run, because I need that fresh air. If I need to go and lift weights, I'll go and do that. If I need to go for a walk, I need to just sleep.
Yeah.
I will allow myself to have a nap. I'm very much at the moment at a point in my life where I'm willing to listen to what I need on that day and that time.
Yeah.
And I don't know, do you think that comes with age? Is that an age thing? Like, and following that gut feeling, you know, when like, something, or if you're dealing with a client, for example, and there's just those red flags and something in you, like, this isn't right. And having that confidence to say no.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes me happy. Knowing I've got the confidence to say no at any point in any situation.
Yeah. I think that it can come with age. Absolutely. I know for me, I think I came to a point of just complete, rock bottom as well. I think a lot of it is you finally come to a point in your life where you say, I can't do this the way that the world wants me to do it. And then whatever age you are, I do think it does happen late 30s, 40s, sometimes mid 40s for women, because there is this change, and it's probably after you've had some kids, and all of a sudden it's, well, I was this before I had a kid. Now I'm a mom, and now what am I? You're trying to rediscover yourself. But also I think it's, no matter what age you are, you come to a point of, I don't know who I am anymore, and I need to figure out who this woman is, because this woman has something to offer, but I've been told I don't anymore because the society says that you're done at this age. And fuck that. I'm going to prove to myself and to other people that I am ready to rediscover myself. Right. And I think this is a super important thing for women, to trust themselves and to go inwards, whatever it is, through everyday happiness, or your, as you are promoting adventure every day in, everyday life, right?
Yeah. That's very true. It is definitely, and just that power, that feeling inside of, like, getting up in the morning and going, I can be whoever I want to be. I think it is what I've noticed very recently, and I think this is coming out of lockdown as well, because of where we were. When it comes to clothing, I didn't really ever get dressed. Like, I got out of my PJs, but in the summer, like, I just have like tie a sarong around me and things like that, because we were in the middle of nowhere, and we just hang out in the garden, or I put the tent up and just things like that. So we moved towards the end of last year to a lovely little seaside, quaint Norfolk village. It's beautiful. Nice. We're really close to the beach. But obviously there's people here, and I have to get dressed to, go on the street and things like that, or go to the shop, or just in general. And I found that I was getting my clothes out and I was like, I don't even fit. I don't, it's not that I didn't fit physically in the clothes.
Yeah.
I just didn't feel like me. So it's, even buying new clothes can make you feel
Yeah.
a certain sense of a different sense of self.
Exactly.
And that can change day to day. I think it's great if you can change up your outward stuff. It's like an armor. It's like that Wonder Woman outfit, isn't
Absolutely.
it?
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because I've been a stylist for so many years, how you with fashion, it is, this can be this very shallow, soulless industry, but your outfits, what you wear, is a representation of who you are. And many women, like you say, when they've come to this point, a life change or going inward, they also realize that their inward appearance doesn't match their outward appearance, and how you eventually have to mold those together and figure that out. But you cannot have this strong, positive outward appearance if you don't know who you are on the inside. So I think a lot of women are literally lying to themselves for many years, or trying to be something that they're not, because there's this expectation. One, they might put an expectation on themselves, or society puts an expectation on them. But until they mold those together, there's a lot of confusion. And I think you're absolutely right. During lockdown, a lot of women came out of it going, well, I've changed. I'm a new person now. So now I need to match this,
I love that you're a stylist as well. Do you do groups on that kind of thing? Do you
well, so I mean, it's interesting because I studied fashion design and had my own women's wear brand and kids wear brand for a long time. And then styling's my passion. And so I do a lot of photo shoots, but then I have women come to me and have me go through their closets and help them out and stuff. And then I went through this whole journey of completely leaving fashion behind. It was on this massive, deep spiritual journey. And so I've been kind of going more in the spiritual direction, but it goes hand in hand. And it's funny because I'm the same as you, like, okay, what are my skills? Where am I at? How can I incorporate all of this instead of completely leaving that part of me behind? How can you make this work? And it does go hand in hand. Once you do the inner work, then you want to feel good about yourself on the outside too. So this is where I can come in and say, you know what? Okay, you don't need those jeans anymore because they don't make you feel good. That's not how you want yourself to be represented. How do you feel? What do you want to look like? What is your main idea of yourself now? And then you can go forward. And that does help women, like you say, feel powerful, feel beautiful, feel good about themselves. Like, why put on a dress that you've had for 20 years because you think you might fit back into it, or because it was you at one point? You're torturing yourself keeping that. There's no point. Get rid of it. It's an emotional attachment that you don't need anymore. Right? That is dragging you down.
You need to film these sessions. Have you filmed any of that? I love those kind of because that is so powerful. Yeah. When that woman sees her wardrobe completely cleared and then full of like these new outfits that she's slightly nervous to put on, but she knows that when she does, that's like a final piece of the puzzle. She is locked in and she's showing the rest of the world very visually, like instantly, who she is.
Exactly.
What she's about. And that is such an emotion. I want to cry. That's like
I mean, it is interesting. There's an amazing stylist in London. No, she's not in London. She's in the countryside now. Donna Tweedale. And she does the same. She has styling business. And what she does with women is incredible. And I had her on the podcast, where she doesn't have you fill out anything online. She sends you a questionnaire and you write everything down, how you want to feel. And then she sits there and basically has a therapy session with you and gets you going. And I love the way she does it, because it is so powerful that woman is, one, opening up her soul to you. She's telling you, I'm not feeling so great right now. I need an uplift. I want to feel beautiful again. She's also letting you into her sacred space, her wardrobe. And then you go in and not criticizing, but just saying, you know what? I don't think this is you anymore. Let's take this out. And it's such a nice, I loved the way she approached it. And so when I mainly work with friends, and I had this one friend of mine, her sister is going through some major stuff. And she's like, I don't have anything to wear anymore. I don't know who I am. And I went in and there's so much stuff she could wear and such beautiful things. She just had no idea. She couldn't see herself, right? If you can't see yourself, you don't know what works for you. And so I went in and it's like, put this on. There's a few things I was like, honey, no, like that has to go. But in a very lovely, like, you're beautiful. You should not be wearing this. This is not beautiful. Anything you wear needs to be beautiful to match who you are, right? You're drinking champagne and having a good time and listening to music. And no joke, it's like we matched all these outfits up, took pictures, then took her shopping, just got a few basics. And after that, her whole demeanor, like everything about her was just like, I feel really good. I'm like, you should look good. I mean, you should feel good because you, anyways, you know, I'm so glad that I got to experience this with you. But I mean, it's with clothing, but it's also the same with what you're doing about the little things that you can tweak and do to make yourself feel more powerful, more beautiful, more alive. I think a lot of women, we stop feeling alive at some point, that joy, right? And your coffee, you know, it's like, I don't know if you know who Emma Hayward is, and she did this book called A Year of Mystical Thinking. And the one thing she says is, like we say, you don't need to go to Bali to go to a retreat to feel good about yourself. It's that setting that intention in your coffee every morning. How do I want to feel today? Like you say, and starting from there, right? And those small steps are what can make a huge difference for you.
Absolutely. Definitely. God, I love that. I love just the whole, it just gives me goosebumps to feel that there's so many women out there that are so powerful and not I don't mean powerful in the sense of like it does. I mean, if they want to go and become some top business women in that sense, if you consider power like that, that's awesome and so cool. But I mean, just in there every day, they don't maybe realize because of where you are in life and what's going on around you, you don't realize that you have all those choices. And you don't maybe realize that just pausing and maybe not and giving yourself a little bit of priority and not feeling bad for it, not having that mum anxiety kind of moments, which we all get them. And we do. Just soul destroying, but not living in them. Mm-hmm. Like kind of going, this is a moment, this is going to pass. Now, what can I do next? It's just for me, just to get me back on track. And what step am I going to take next? What direction do I want to go in? Yeah. Because I can still go in any direction I like.
Exactly. And that's the power, that's the powerness, right? In women, when they realize, oh, I have the power to step forward and to go in a different direction. I think it's like you said, what is success for people? And success is those everyday moments. It's not the, okay, you're the CEO, CFO of this major company. Yeah. It's not about money. It's about your soul purpose. It's about living.
How much are you enjoying your life?
Exactly. This is what life is about. This is what life means, right?
How much do you love your everyday?
Yeah.
Like it's those things that I think really matter, because they're the things as well that are gonna, it's not only for you, but then you end up helping so many other people. Your friends see it, your family sees it. Everyone you come into contact with, the lady at the local coffee shop, she feels it, you know. You get to lift other people and pass that on. And that's kind of like a little legacy then, if we start going.
Yeah, that's interesting that you say legacy, because I think there's a lot of, I actually had this conversation with my husband recently, that everyone is so set on legacy. And I think that's nice. But like you say, that your everyday actions, how you affect the people around you, that it already is going to leave a legacy. So you don't need to have this full on, I have to do this in order to have this brilliant legacy. It's like, no. It's like with, like, for instance, with therapy, when, you know, before I started therapy, I was a very sad, depressed person, you know, and it takes a lot of time and you really have to work at it. My husband's like, you've changed so much. I can see in the everyday that your positivity now and how you've changed is affecting our family as a whole. So our family is uplifted. We feel better as a whole. And then it's encouraged my husband to start going to therapy. I mean, it's like you say, there's small little things really lift the vibration of everyone around you. And then that lifts, and then that lifts, and that lifts. And then hopefully one day we'll have this world of really beautiful, happy people. You know, we can dream, but, you know, we have to start small. And it starts with you know. Oh, and, you know, it'd be nice when you're dreaming of, or daydreaming of, oh, wouldn't it be nice if everyone just, you know, was so nice to each other all the time? But
no, like it seems such a simple request as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, you haven't got to do much in a day. Just don't be a dick. Just do not be horrible to other people. You know, think that other people are maybe going through things, or consider that other people have their own issues, or, you know, their world isn't rosy and perfect, even if it looks it from the outside.
Exactly.
Yeah, but unfortunately it doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Do you plan to work on women one-to-one about their happiness, or their having more adventure in their life, or being more outdoors? Because I know you're super sporty and still trying to promote that with women. Have you thought about that?
This is interesting because yes, a lot, and I miss it.
Yeah.
And it's definitely resonating, and it's definitely something I'd really like to move into. I just don't quite know how yet. Like, it hasn't I haven't had that lightning bolt moment yet of how that looks or how it would work. I mean, to a certain extent, I do it. I have a lot of women kind of just drop me messages and DMs, and I'm always happy to just kind of chat with them.
Yeah.
Lightheartedly about things. And it would be really nice. But it's how to make it work, and how to be effective, and how to do it really well. I think. I mean, I'd love to be involved in, I think it's maybe one-to-ones, but also I love the power if you bring like a group together.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Yeah, you see those energies come through, and and everyone's there supporting each other, and, you know, realizing that everyone's got their own story in the room, and everyone's not as alone as they sometimes can feel. Yeah. And there's something magical in that, and that's really appealing. I think my body language has now changed.
Yeah, completely.
Having a group, like,
that's where we are completely on the same page, is the group aspect. And for women as well, because as soon as you bring women together, there is this energy and this amazing, you learn from each other, you can form bonds, connections. And I've always been about, you know, it's not about competition, it's about everyone works together, then everyone benefits, you know, because it's okay, oh, you should meet so-and-so, or you should meet so-and-so, or I can help you with that, or let's do this together. You know, it's so powerful when you work in numbers, right?
Absolutely. And that's in any situation, isn't it? Everyone's got different skills to bring along, and to share and to show and to contribute. And that's definitely where the magic happens.
Oh, you should do retreats, and then you can have these like amazing, get all these women together and talk about happiness. But also, I think it's funny with retreats. I love yoga, but not everyone's into yoga. And I think it's really nice to have an adventure retreat, like we talked about with the Salty Club, right? They do different things within the retreats, like surfing or hiking or whatever, right?
It's funny because this is something that I've thought a lot about. And because another thing that I do is I work for the Bear Grylls Survival Academy.
Oh, cool.
So I'm one of their instructors. So we take people out on these adventure weekends, you know.
Amazing.
Building hearts and abseiling and running through water and eating bugs and all of this kind of stuff.
Sounds like heaven.
my kind of thing is like, I want to, like, not to be that extreme, but like something really raw and basic and simple. And because even the name retreat sometimes makes me nervous. Because it feels like, again, you've got to be in this perfect
Lululemon leggings.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like have this like air about you if you're leading these retreats, and I've got to have bells and like, do you know what? Yeah. And that's just not me. I would walk in and cause absolute carnage. I'd trip up.
I love this. I love this already.
I would like trip up as I go in. I'd swear really loudly because I've done that. Do you know that was just, I'd mess it up. It would all go terribly wrong. So for me, it's fine. Like for me, I'd rather I envisage like women just running around, tiring themselves out physically and mentally, taking on challenges, like even simple things like just going into a field and screaming.
Oh my God, I want to do that so bad. Why is this not offered? Like
this is what I mean.
Oh
and
my
I'm
God.
Yes. Oh, you know, because I think, am I missing something? And like having a sledge, if I said to you, having a sledgehammer and a huge tire to just
oh my God,
batter it. Like there's like, I think that's what women need. Like most women I know, it's like to let it out. And then maybe later on, you know, have some yoga, but I'm actually training to do a certain kind of yoga.
Okay,
but
cool.
The reason being is because I want to set it to like really funky, cool music. Like, so it's not you. And I imagine doing that, but like maybe at night with like a big fire and flames, and then all this, it gets kind of tribal and it's like,
yes. Oh my God. I'll be there.
I'm going off on one now. But now this is where my problem is though, because I then have to be really brave and I have to go, right, I'm making this happen. This is what we're doing. Put it out there and hope that women are like, oh yeah, that really sounds cool. That's completely.
I tell you now that will happen, because to not interrupt you, I mean, granted, I'm in Germany now, not in the UK anymore, but even women I talk to here, they crave that because there is nothing for us like that. You know, like you said,
you're all very like forced into what I feel on the retreats I've come across, into this kind of mellow sanctuary kind of calmness. And if you're not in that place, even walking in there, you might, you know, you
already feel like a failure.
Yeah. And it's going to be amazing. I'm not saying the experience itself isn't great, but you're not going to leave there feeling like you've got rid of what you brought with you.
Exactly.
You've kind of shoved it down a bit deeper to be calm while you're there, but you're still going to walk out. I want it to be like a sense of release, like, and then leave fully charged.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with, I mean, I can 100% agree with this, because I'm going to do ecstatic dance training in the autumn. And it's basically this form of dance where you get out of your head and into your body. And you know, back in the tribal days, that's how they didn't go to therapy. They danced. They got super crazy around a fire with tribal music, and they literally let their whole body go. And I was going to this thing called 5 rhythms, and you literally go through a wave of emotions. It's so your body needs to go through all these emotions to finally have this release at the end. So I think it's so important to have this very animalistic kind of release, because we need it. And women, we hold so much inside of us, don't we? We hold the weight of the world, and we don't allow ourselves to get angry and punch and mad. It's fine for boys to do it, but for women, I mean, come on.
It's like, and even if you so much is, and it's still the same, if you raise your voice or like you try and stand up for yourself, you're crazy, you're this, that, and the other, you're bossy, you're making things difficult, you're being hard work, it's like, no, I'm just speaking up for myself and letting out how I feel. Just because it upsets you doesn't mean it's wrong. It is still there.
Absolutely.
So maybe that's why I need to get around to doing it. I need to commit. I need to be brave.
I'm where you are right now, completely, because I'm trying to get these meetups. I don't know if I'm still trying to work on the name, but that is taking what I'm doing with the podcast out and getting women together. And it's even just simple things like, okay, you want to learn about human design, or you want to learn about tarot, or you want to have a dance night, or things just to get women together in a spot that we can all just communicate and have, you know, feel free, flower workshop, art therapy, whatever it is that's going to help you find your inner self, right? This is what it's about. But it is that, got the idea of it, committing to it and doing it, and having that, I can do this. you know, for me, it's always because I live in Germany and I'm still learning German and I hate speaking German, but you know, and it's fine. I speak fine, but it's like, you know, that extra level of, can I do this? Can I really do this? Like, of course, that finding your power. Of course you can. Just fucking do it. You know, just get out there and do it. But it's that step, you know.
You can always, you know, be very, again, honest about it. You know, when you put it out there, part of your thing can be like, I'm still in the process of learning German. So you'll actually be helping me by coming along, and we can figure out if there is any language issues together, you know, have that approach to it as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that, you know, that openness and honesty would be really appealing to people.
Yeah. And that's what, like we were talking before we started recording, is that open and honesty that women need now, right? Is that I'm not alone. I don't, you know, reading her post or her sharing that makes me feel okay. You know, makes me feel like, God, I was going through that too. I'm so glad she said that. I'm glad she doesn't have this perfect Instagram life now, because you know, I needed some rawness today. And
I needed that reality. And like, I'm not alone. I'm not crazy in what I'm going through or imagining it or thinking it. There is another me out there.
Yeah.
Or someone similar. There's someone who understands.
Yeah, exactly. And this is what this is about, isn't it? Of someone understands, and through that you can find your happiness and on this journey. Because the podcast is called The Future Edit, describe the future you.
Oh God.
If you could dream up any big dream.
Am I allowed to sort of say I don't want to?
Yeah.
Am I allowed to say I'm at a point where I'm willing to accept her?
Good. That's beautiful.
Whatever she decides, because I trust her, and I trust that she will make the right choice at that time.
Yeah.
You know, looking back, that's something I've learned massively, that I'll be kind to the earlier version of yourself, because she was just making decisions based on where she was, what she knew then, survival at that time. And I don't try, and although I have, you know, plans going forward, they're not locked into who I am as a person.
Yeah.
I still have that sense of that flexibility that goes, cool, that's kind of where I see myself going. But if any point that doesn't feel like me anymore, I'll change it. It can change. It's not locked in stone. It's not, the whole world doesn't rely on it. And I can change my outfit at the same time, and then it'll it'll be real.
I love that. I think that's probably one of the most beautiful answers I've heard so far. So thank you for that. I think it is, that's wonderful. The whole idea, not the idea, but the concept of trust, for a woman to trust herself, right? And to really say, you know what, no, I'm going to be okay. I am okay now. I will be okay then, because I trust myself. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah. And how that looks doesn't matter.
It doesn't, no.
It doesn't matter. That's just the path. That's just the way it is.
That's nice, because that's been my journey as well, as the trust. I even got a trust tattoo, like right here on my heart, like near, my husband calls it the, what does he call it? Trust the titties, just because I'm a titty. I'm like, thanks, honey. Of course you would. I'm like, it's about trusting myself. He's like, I know. I just wanted, you know, I wanted to be a bit funnier. I'm like, okay, fine. He's a real jokester. So
that's great.
That's great.
I think that should be some kind of strap line on something.
It should. Trust the titties. I mean, hey, they do feed life. I mean, they give life and all that kind of stuff. So technically, you should.
This is it.
Yeah,
absolutely. I think you're onto something there.
That's so brilliant. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us before we? I
don't think so. It's just lovely. It's so nice just to sit and chat so easily. With someone that just gets it and understands. So I just love what you're doing. I love the podcast. I love your work. And when you do have one of your retreats, we won't call them retreats because that makes us uncomfortable. But whatever they were called. I'd love to come over and visit. So I'll see if I can do that. That would be so cool to actually.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll be over to Norfolk as well, because I haven't visited that area enough. It's funny when you live in London, you're like, I'm going to go to all these places and visit all these things outside the city. You don't. I mean, mainly because my husband's German and I'm American, and, you know, our families are all over the place. We usually just leave London and never really explore outside, but it's so beautiful in those areas. So I'm sad that I didn't get to see all of that. But
we've got plenty of time. Years
exactly. Exactly. Well, I thank you so much for being here and chatting with me today. And I will, in the notes, leave all of Kelly's information so you can get a hold of her if you have any questions, want to work with her, and also learn more about her projects. So until next time, ciao.